So I just finished listening to a podcast by Jefferson Fisher, who is this man that I started following quite a while ago on Instagram. He is incredible. He is an attorney who started on his Instagram basically teaching us all how to respond in uncomfortable conversations or how to react to people who say mean things, bad things, interrupt, inappropriate things. He's just awesome. Like everything he says is so helpful. It's phenomenal. It's incredible. So I will post all of his places in the show notes here, but go find him and watch, listen. I think he has a new book out. Read his book. I have not gotten it or read it yet, but Jefferson Fisher is his name. And it, I love everything that he talks about, and he has a very cool sign off. I'm not going to do it here and spoil it, but he signs all of his stories and reels off in a certain way and his podcast off in a certain way. It's a cool sign off. So go listen. You will love it. Anyway, I just finished listening to an episode of his about how to respond to people who have said mean, nasty, ugly things to you, the importance of being kind. And I don't want to spoil anything that he talks about in his podcast because you really need to go listen to it. But it got me thinking about kindness and all the different, I don't know, layers of kindness that there are. And I posted an Instagram post months ago that basically said, unleash your kindness. And you guys probably know, if you've been around here for a while, that I am a big fan of being kind always. My philosophy in life is that just don't be an asshole. And the flip of that is be kind. And I think that there's so many layers and levels to kindness. Let's talk about it. Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Next 23. I am Kelly Taylor, and today I want to talk about kindness and the different layers and levels. I guess just layers of kindness. I don't know that there's levels, but the different layers of kindness and what it means to try to always be kind and what it doesn't mean. I think a lot of times, especially for me, when people talk to me or get to know me or hang around with me and understand sort of my personality and that I am very much a positive person. So just like positivity, I think kindness has many layers to it, and that being kind and trying to show up every single day of your life as a kind person or unleashing your kindness doesn't mean that you have to be always a people pleaser. It doesn't mean you have to be a yes girl. It doesn't mean you can't have boundaries. It doesn't mean that you can't say no to people or things or events. It doesn't mean that you can't protect yourself. It doesn't mean that you can't even, like, you know, be direct and tell someone exactly what you think. Because sometimes being direct and telling someone the truth, while it might be hard and it might be harsh and it might be really, really difficult for that person to hear, and it might feel unkind in the moment, telling the truth always is the kind thing to do. Always. And the thing that I think will help guide you in knowing the truth and knowing if you truly are being kind or not is your gut and your heart. And they talk to each other every single day and in every single situation. And if you listen to your heart and your gut, then you really are always going to make the right decision. I truly believe that. There have been times when I have not made the right decision, when I've made a mistake and I've tried to get out of the mistake by, I don't know, I don't want to say lying or fudging the truth, but maybe by not telling the full truth or by making up excuses or by, I don't know, doing different things that I knew were not fully the truth. And you guys, 10 out of 10 times when those situations happen, I absolutely felt it in my gut. And it stayed in my gut until I told the truth, until I just owned up to my mistake, owned up to the bullshit that happened, and apologized or made it right or whatever. And I think kindness is a lot like that too, right? So, one layer of kindness is just freely giving it out in the world. So, you walk out, you pass someone on the street, you smile at them, you say hi, you compliment their shoes in an elevator, whatever it is, just some little piece of kindness that you are giving to someone in your day to brighten their day a little bit. And that's a layer of kindness that's just freely given. And it's not asked for, it's not a requirement, it's not a quid pro quo. I think that's how you say it, where someone gives you something so then you're kind in return. It is just a freely given act of kindness. And those, I love those, you guys, because while usually it makes the other person feel really good, I walk away feeling really good myself because I know that I just made someone's day, or I just was really just nice to someone for no reason at all. And it feels really good. So I love that layer of kindness where it's just a freely given compliment, freely given head nod, a freely given act of help, right? You help someone with their cart coming out of the grocery store. You I don't know, there's a million things you can do every day to just freely give that kindness away. So that's one, that's a super easy one to do, and it makes you feel really good and it makes the other person feel really good. So let's try to do more of that. Another layer of kindness is actively and intentionally doing something for someone that may sort of make you go out of your way or may put you out a bit, but you know it's going to be something that's really going to help someone else. So that's not something that you can just like walk out of your door and freely give away and, easy peasy. So this act of kindness is something that is very intentional. It might be showing up. It might be you have a friend who is having a really hard time and you have a crazy busy day and you've got all these things you got to do. You've got deadlines, you've got kids, you've got, work, you have all spouse, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that you have so much you have to do, but your friend is really struggling that day. So you intentionally and actively say, hey, let's go have coffee. I have an hour. I want to spend it with you because they need someone to talk to. It could be something even bigger where you have someone in your life that really needs help, maybe is having some surgery and doesn't really, maybe they live far away and doesn't have friends or family close by. So you show up in a big way. You fly to them and you help them recover, help them get them to the hospital, get them home from the hospital, whatever it is. That's a big, big act of kindness that you just unleash. And that evokes a big feeling in you, right? That's a really good thing to do, a really big thing to do. So the sort of second layer of kindness is one that is very intentional, is one that takes, I don't want to say planning, but possibly planning, that takes you out of your life and you may have to rearrange some things. You may have to say no to certain things in your life to be there and show up for people in a very kind way that are in your life when they need you. So that's a great layer of kindness. A third layer of kindness is kindness to yourself. And I'm going to call this the boundary of kindness is. So creating boundaries for yourself in your life with people in your life, whoever they are, whatever those boundaries are, is a big act of kindness to yourself and to those other people in your life. And I know that could feel a little wrong because I know sometimes creating boundaries is hard. Well, creating the boundary maybe isn't that hard, but telling people about your boundary and sticking to your boundary, that's the hard part. Doing and and what's the word I'm looking for? Like respecting your boundary for yourself that you've put into place. That's the hard part. But that is also such a kind thing for you to do for yourself and do for other people because you're not doing any favors to people in your life by always being a person that gets walked all over. You're not doing any favors to people in your life by always being a yes girl or a yes guy, by always being a people pleaser. Because a lot of times you're not being honest. You're not showing up as yourself. You're not showing up as your best self because it also being a people pleaser and always saying yes and always wanting to make sure nobody gets mad at you or nobody doesn't like you, that breeds resentment and that breeds negative feelings. And then it kind of turns you into someone you don't really like. And it ultimately makes you treat people in ways that they probably wouldn't like either because you're going to get resentful and you're going to get bitter. And that's going to start showing up in your relationships. And so then it's really hard to be kind. So, this third layer of kindness, of boundary kindness, is really one of my favorites. I do love it. It took me years. It took me years to get to this point in my life because trust, am, and I'll say slightly recovering people pleaser, but was a huge people pleaser. I'm a textbook middle child, right? Like such a people pleaser, always want to keep the peace, never want to rock the boat, never want to think anyone doesn't like me. Oh my God, that's like the worst thing ever to think someone in this world does not like me. That was awful. And I would do anything to make sure that did not happen at my own expense, at the expense of relationships that I had with people because I was not showing up as my true self. So, setting boundaries and really being true to myself and who I want to be and who I want to show up as in this world is such a great kindness that I give to myself. And it's not easy sometimes, but it is always always worth it. And then the fourth layer of kindness is one that I don't know what to call this, but it is something that this is what triggered this whole podcast episode is that Jefferson Fisher talked about is the kindness of responding to people who are hateful or negative or say mean or ugly things to you. And when you choose to respond in a kind way, that's huge. And the reason that's huge is because you are being true to yourself. And he taught, I want to say this so bad, but I don't want to steal his thunder from his podcast because it was so great. But he gives you examples and sort of a roadmap of three things you can do to really ensure that you responding in a kind way to a negative person or a mean or hateful person, that you're doing it in the right way. He gives very clear three ways. So definitely go listen to it. But I think what I learned from that is that it it is it is a kindness to walk away or to not respond or to just basically not engage in that argument. And it's a kindness for yourself. It's actually also a kindness for the other person because, and when he talks about responding in a kind way to mean, horrible, hateful people, those are my words, It doesn't mean you have to always be nice and polite and people pleasing and all that. It could mean that you absolutely just don't even respond. And that's the kind thing to do. It could be that you tell the truth and that you're very direct, which we talked about. And that's kind as well. It could be that you just don't get into a argument or yelling match. And that is being kind to yourself, and that's being kind to future you. Again, go listen to Jefferson Fisher's podcast. It's so good. But I think the main point of what I want to share is that basically every day of your life, there is some opportunity for you to show some kindness into this world because there's so many layers of kindness. And I only talked about four. There's so many others, but the more you think about and focus on these opportunities to put kindness out into the world or show kindness to your people or show yourself kindness, the more you're going to truly feel that the world isn't a total dumpster fire and that there are really, really good things out there for us, happening around us that are really, really big opportunities for us to engage in this world in a positive and kind way that allow us to show up as our best selves. And here's the other thing, you guys, is it looks different for everyone because everyone's best self is so different. While we are all humans and we are all carbon copies of each other, us as humans and all of the elements and chemicals and DNA and all the things that we are made up of, we are all 90, let me get this right, 99.85% the same. I might have my numbers wrong. And I think we're 0.01% different. So while we as humans are all basically the same, made up of all the same things, there's like 0.15% of us that is uniquely and magically and beautifully made different. And that is what allows us to show up differently in this world. It is what I mean when I say that kindness is going to look different for everyone, how we receive it and how we give it. And so, for me, it's so easy for me to walk into an elevator and I immediately see someone in there a woman who's wearing like a really beautiful skirt and it's a great color. And I just say, hey, I love your skirt, girl. That color looks amazing on you. That is so easy for me to do because I genuinely love to find something in every person I see that I absolutely truly like. And if I have the opportunity, I will tell them about it. But that's just me, right? Other people may show up as their best selves and show some kindness by being the person in a drive-through line who pays for the person behind them, pays for their meal. You guys, that happened to me one time. I rode that feeling of kindness and vibe for months. I was so excited that I was on the receiving end of having my drive-through order paid for by the person in front of me. It made me so happy for months. I can't even tell you how much I thought about that day after day and how great it felt. And honestly, I think it was at Taco Bell. So my whole meal was, $6. It was incredible. It was amazing. So, that might be your jam where you don't really want to interact in person with someone, but you do want to show a kindness. So the anonymous kindness is, oh, it's such a great kindness. I love the anonymous situation. It's so good. And it makes you feel really good too. Because I guarantee the person who paid for my Taco Bell meal that day absolutely felt fantastic about themselves for quite a while. At least I hope they did. And then there are other people who show kindness by doing big things, volunteering in the world and changing the world and literally showing up in this crazy world doing big, bold, brave, beautiful things by raising money to help organizations who are changing the world, by starting organizations themselves who are changing the world and saving lives and changing lives. All of that is done out of kindness. And everyone has a different story. And in every single story, there's beauty and magic in it. And if you can really focus on looking for those opportunities to unleash your kindness out into the world every single day, even if you don't go out into the world every day. So let's say you spend a weekend on your couch and you don't leave your couch at all. You can still unleash your kindness, girl. You can text a friend and say, "Hey, I was thinking about you and I loved this thing that we experienced 4 years ago and it still makes me happy." You can donate online to an organization that is saving lives, changing lives, and donate from your couch. You can just take a minute and be kind to yourself and stop with the negative self-talk and the bullshit that you have going on in your head about how you're not good enough, or you can't believe you didn't follow through on this thing, or whatever it is. You can be kind to yourself on from your couch in like 2 minutes. And that might just be enough to change your mindset, to change your attitude. But do something every single day that allows you the opportunity to unleash your kindness. I love you guys, and I'm cheering for you. The Next 23 is produced in partnership with Taylor Street Designs. I would love it if you guys could subscribe to the show. Don't worry, if it's not your jam, just tap that unsubscribe button. No hard feelings. Love you guys.